What is good, y'all? My name is Jack. You guys probably know me as Jackonomics on TikTok and Instagram. In this video, I will be going over the exact approach I had to scale prop firms, which prop firms I trade with, which accounts I trade with, and the exact approach I took to scale my trading from $0 to $20,000 a month. Oh, why should I listen to this, guy? 0 to 20K a month? Yeah, okay, Buster. Here are credentials for those who are wondering and why you should listen to this video. So, Topstep payouts, boom, and then Alpha Futures payouts, all in this month, and bang, has generated me over $20,000 this month. So there you go, credentials. So let me get into the video now. All right, getting into it, which prop firms have I used? I have personally used two prop firms only to scale my trading, and those being Topstep and Alpha Futures. And I know there's many other firms like My Funded Futures, Take Profit Trader, and I will get into why I like just Topstep and Alpha Futures. Okay, so firstly, the reason why I like Topstep and Alpha Futures only is because of the fact that you can use Platform X. If you're wondering what Platform X is, it is the platform where there's a built-in copy trader, built-in lockout settings, risk settings. It's overall a really clean website and platform to trade on, and Topstep and Alpha Futures both use this platform, which I absolutely love. And also, so fun fact, I have gotten my first two payouts with My Funded Futures. So you're probably wondering, why do you not trade with My Funded Futures anymore? And the simple reason behind that is Alpha Futures is now a thing. I just personally like the firm way better. One, they trade on Platform X. It's called Alpha Ticks for them. And two, I just like the rules better. So, and I just like Alpha Futures way better than My Funded Futures. So that is why I use Topstep and Alpha Futures. Then obviously the rules I will get into in 1 second. Okay, firstly, let's go over Topstep and just the prices that you will pay to trade with that firm. So for a 50K account, for 50K eval, it is $50 per account, and the activation fee is $150 per account, and you can copy trade up to 5 accounts at one time. And like I said, there is a built-in copy trader on Platform X with Topstep. Now, there are only 2 accounts I recommend trading with Topstep, those being the 50K accounts and the 150K accounts. Now, the difference with those two is obviously the 150s are more expensive. It is $150 for the eval compared to $50 for the 50K, and then for the activation fee, it is $150 as well. But the big difference is you get more initial drawdown, and I will go into why you would go 150s over 50s. And I personally use 50s because of the fact that they're just way easier to pass. Because with the 150s, you need a $9,000 profit target to pass the eval, whereas the 50Ks, you need only a $3,000 profit target, and obviously you have less initial drawdown, which is $2,000. But I think just like efficiency and bang for your buck, I personally like trading the 50K accounts because easier to pass, cheaper up front, and you can just cycle them pretty easily. And like I can pass like a set of 5 evals in like 50Ks in like 2 days. It's relatively pretty easy for me to just get on XFAs, and it's really nice. So the main difference between the 150s and 50s is just you get more initial drawdown, but they are more expensive. And what I do is I trade the 50K accounts. I trade 5 50K accounts with Topstep. And the biggest thing with scaling your trading is simply having allocation. And you're probably wondering, when do I start scaling up? When do I start going to 3 accounts, 5 accounts from 1 account? And let me get into that. Which leads me to introduce Alpha Futures. Personally, my GOAT. I absolutely love Alpha Futures. I love trading with them. I think they're one of the best in the space. And I said, when to know when to scale. So that leads me to the overall best, in my opinion, accounts to start on as a beginner before you scale your trading. Those being the Alpha Zero accounts. No activation fee overall, pretty cheap prices to get on XFAs with these accounts, and the rules to get your first payout is, always so good. So here they are, here are prices. Here is the 50K account right here, and the 100K account right here. So with the zero plan, there's 2 options, 50K and 100K, and the prices are $200 for the 100K and $100 for the 50K. But lucky for you guys, I am an affiliation with Alpha Futures. not only because I absolutely love trading with the firm and just overall it's the best, but for you guys, you get a discount as well. So it's $200 for the 100K and $100 for the 50K. But if you use code Jack, you get a discount on every single account size. So take advantage of that if you are looking to trade with Alpha Futures. But getting into the zero plan accounts, why I like them so much is it's like the rules are so easy. So right, it's for the 50K, let's say, the cheapest one, you can get on an XFA for $90 because there's no activation fee. And the rules are simply, you need 5 winning days of $100 and just under the 40% consistency rule, and you can request a freaking payout. Super simple, super easy. And it's pretty much the same thing on the 100K account, but instead of the 5 winning days. So with the 50K account, you need 5 winning days of $100, and on the 100K account, you need 5 winning days of $200. But overall, really simple. And personally, I use the 100K zero plan accounts because you get $4,000 of initial drawdown, and like it's pretty hard to blow that account before getting a payout. So I personally use the 100K accounts. I think they're best. And yeah, so 5 winning days of $200 under 40% consistency, and you can request literally weekly because all you need is 5 winning days. So like the most beginner friendly accounts, I think the easiest account to get your first payout with will be with the Alpha Zero Plan account. And obviously wherever your financials are, if you can afford the 100K account, I would recommend it. But if not, the 50K Zero Plan account is also really good. And again, no activation fee. You can get on an Express account with them for relatively cheap, and obviously discounted with code Jack. Run it up. But that is what I would recommend for your first prop firm account before you start scaling. Now, let me get into scaling. So I'm just gonna assume you got that first payout on the zero plan account with Alpha Futures. Now you're asking the question, what do I do? Let me show you. Okay, now getting into scaling. So there is Topstep and Alpha, like I said, both really good to scale, but the zero plan accounts more so for beginner to get your first payout. Like I just said, I'm just gonna imagine you have done that so far. Now, where do I go to scale? So previously, like I said, with Topstep, you can copy trade 5 accounts. You can copy trade 5 accounts, which makes it really good. And I'm just gonna tell you the exact approach and the exact process that I did, and also the mistake I made that kept me at break even for way too long. And I'll go over that first right now. So the mistake I made, right? I got my first 2 payouts, and immediately I made the worst mistake of trying to scale way too quickly, right? So I got my first 2 payouts. It was 2.4K. And what did I do? I started immediately scaling to 5 150K accounts with Topstep. You're like, whoa, that's way too quick. I know. And I blew 2 sets or 3 sets. So immediately I wiped out all of my gains from my first payout. Like it was over 2.5K because with the 150Ks, it is $750 per set of evals. So right, if you just blow 2 sets, because I was copy trading 5 accounts, that's 1.5K down the drain. So that is the mistake I made, and that is the mistake I do not want you guys to make. So I think the best route to do after you get your first payout or payouts with the zero plan accounts or whatever prop firm, I think going with either 3 or 5. Personally, I think 5 50Ks with Topstep is the best because you'll be all in $1,000 with the activation fees. So it will be $250 for the set of 5 evals. And let's say you pass that first try, which again, I think it's pretty simple. You just need $3,000 profit target. It's not that hard to get. So let's say you pass the first try, you are now all in $1,000. So the route I would do after getting your first payouts is I would scale to Topstep with 3 50K accounts or 5 150K accounts. And like I said, the mistake I did of going too big too quick, I did 5 150K accounts, and that is too much. So I would recommend the 50K accounts. Now, because you're obviously, your first payout is not gonna be a crazy amount, it's not gonna be a life-changing amount of money, but your first payout is pretty much to just give you the confidence, give you the mental that, okay, I know what I'm doing, I have made money in the markets, now all I have to do is replicate this at scale. And kind of the hardest thing for me when I started scaling was being like able to handle all these accounts being copy traded, right? Because 5 accounts, let's say you have like a $1,000 loss, that is now a $5,000 loss. So, right, I was kind of like, oh, can I handle this? Can I handle this? And I feel like that is one of the biggest mental challenges when scaling, is just being able to handle copy trading across big accounts. But like I said, that is really the only way to do it. The only way you can scale your trading is from gaining allocation and copy trading. So after you get your first payout, I would recommend going to Topstep, 5 accounts. And then once you get those passed, you are all in $1,000. And obviously it depends on your approach, your trading style, your trade frequency, and how you trade. But the way I trade and the approach I had when I got on these 5 50K accounts with Topstep is I gave myself a 4 trade buffer. And you're wondering, what is a 4 trade buffer? That is pretty much telling yourself you have 4 trades to lose in a row before those accounts are blown. So with $2,000 drawdown on 50K accounts, that is risking around $500 per trade. And obviously I would like not be like, okay, I need to risk $500 to the T. I would just be roughly around that range. And if I lost 4 trades in a row, then the account is blown, which gives yourself a pretty safe cushion. If you're sticking to your system, if you're doing what you know you need to be doing, you really should not lose like 4 trades in a row. Like it gives it so like if you blow those accounts, maybe you were not ready to scale. But that's what I did. That's the approach I had, giving myself 4 losses in a row before the accounts are blown. And I think that is a perfect risk tolerance, a perfect area, because yeah, I mean, again, it depends on your trading approach, your RR you use. But for me, that is what I did, because I trade pretty low frequency, pretty low RR, and a pretty high win rate system. So with the high win rate system, I think giving myself 4 trades to lose is more than enough. So that is what I did. And I would say, for requesting your payouts on the Topstep accounts, since this is technically now your second payout and you're looking to scale, the exact thing I did. So right, like I showed you guys, I made over $20,000 this month. Now the month prior was kind of like my first, over 5-figure month in trading, and like the amount of payouts I got was a little over, like I think it was $15,000. And the payout I got from Topstep, the first one I got when starting my scaling journey, was a $5,000 payout, which means you got the balance up to $2,000 and you requested $1,000 or a little over, because with Topstep you can only withdraw 50% of your profits and the rest is left as your buffer. So I feel like that is a good kind of step up after your first payout of 1K, 2K, kind of getting used to, and then going to kind of getting used to copy trading multiple accounts, kind of getting risk to the risk you're gonna have to put on. I think kind of, so let's just say you're on 5 accounts, building your balance up to $2,000, and with the risk I gave you, pretty much giving yourself a 4 trade buffer, risking $500, that is pretty much winning 3 or 4 trades, and that's obviously depends on your RR or whatever, but getting your balance up to $2,000, requesting that 5K, 6K, I think is a great way to take that next step, because this kind of gives you that confidence. You're like, okay, I'm kind of getting in a groove. I know what I'm doing. I know the exact system that gets me paid in trading. I know what to do. So let me continue doing this. And now after this point, all I know I have to do is rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. So I know I just said a lot there. I know I said a lot, but pretty much the basis that I just went over was, after your first payout, I would go with Topstep, 5 accounts, 50Ks, all in $1,000. For the evals, it's $250, and then give yourself roughly a 3 or 4 trade buffer. You get your balance up to $2,000 or so, and request that $5,000 or so payout, and this will kind of get you in that groove, get you more settled in, and kind of set you up to scale even more. So that is what I would recommend after your first payouts, and those are the accounts I would recommend with. Now, let me get into scaling even more and what I did to get up to $20,000 in payouts. Let me show you. So right, like I said, I got my Topstep payouts, and then how do you scale to even more? So what I did was I reallocated with Alpha Futures. Now Alpha Futures does not only have the zero plan accounts. Like I said, the zero plan accounts are best for beginners. It's really easy to get your first payout on those accounts. So that is what I would recommend. Now, the accounts I used to scale even more was the standard plan account. And you're wondering, what is the standard plan account? What is this dude yapping about? Blah, 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 blah. So the standard plan account with Alpha Futures has, in my opinion, I'm glazing, but I think they have one of the best rules, because all you have to do once you are on the XFA with the standard plan with Alpha Futures is stay under the 40% consistency rule, and you can request your entire balance. You can request your entire balance. And that is exactly what I did in the month of August to hit over $20,000 in freaking payouts. So I was on a standard plan account, and the rules are, all you have to do is stay under the 40% consistency. You can build up your balance as big as you want. There's no winning days. No winning days. You can request your entire balance. No buffer needs to be built. So it's like, goated, right? So that's what I did. I built my balance up and I requested it in full. So I think the standard plan account is a very, 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 very good account with, if you're looking for a kind of more loose, like a loose way to trade. Like I feel like I was not as restricted. I was really not restricted because, in my opinion, I do not think a 40% consistency is that bad at all. You can just kind of hit base hits. That's pretty much what I did. I was hitting base hits of $1,000 to $2,000 per day. I built up my balance and then requested it all. So with that, on top of Topstep payouts, it adds up. It adds up. So if you're looking to scale even more on top of your Topstep accounts, I think the standard plan account is really good because you can trade it pretty loosely, in my opinion, and overall it's a really good account. And then for the eval with that account, it is a $6,000 profit target, and there's a 50% consistency on the eval. So what I did, I literally 2 day passed it. I went $3,000, boom, passed. That's what I did. So the eval stage is pretty much the same as Topstep. And then once you get on it, I think really good rules. Again, you can trade on platform X with them. It's called Alpha Ticks, same as Topstep. So I think that being paired with 5 Topstep accounts, plus you get allocation with the Alpha Futures standard accounts, I think that is, chef's kiss. That has been my bread and butter. And yeah, man, that is kind of the route I did to scale my trading. So let me just tell you guys a quick backstory. So in January of, I guess, 2025, January of 2025, I got my first 2 payouts. And then, like I said, I told you guys, the first 2 payouts were 2.4K. And then I told you guys I scaled way too quickly. I went to 150K accounts and pretty much blew those accounts, and boom, it was awful. And then I was kind of on a break-even stage. And then finally, I started scaling my trading, and that was the exact process I did. I was on 5 50K accounts with Topstep. I kind of got that first payout of a little over $5,000. I built my balance up to 2K per account, boom, request. And then after that, it has pretty much been compounding. And what I've done to continue to scale my trading was obviously just reinvest. I reinvested into Alpha Futures accounts. And I think that really is the main basis when scaling your trading. 1, reinvesting. Please do not go out and buy something stupid. Please do not start bragging after you get your first payouts. Please just keep quiet and just reinvest and stick to the same system that you knew allowed you to get those payouts, because that's the name of the game. Prop firms are a rinse and repeat game. You're not going to be married to that account. You're not going to stay on that account forever. And that's also one thing that did it kind of hold me back. I was married to that account. I did not want to lose accounts, which led me to staying on the accounts forever and then eventually just blowing them because I was so attached to them. So prop firms, it's a rinse and repeat game. You cannot be attached to them. And the name of the game is getting allocation and just sticking to your system. And with allocation, boom, it will compound. So that's what I did. I got my kind of first initial scaling was a little over $5,000 with Topstep, and then kind of gradually got more, and then I got allocated with Alpha Futures, and yeah, that's where I'm at in the month of August so far, and hoping to do even better in the month of September. Q4, baby, let's lock in. But yeah, so I think that is kind of this video on going over scaling firms, the accounts that I love using, the accounts that I use to scale my own trading. I'm trying to think of anything else, but yeah, like zero plan accounts, the best for beginners. I would recommend that if you're going for your first payout. And then to scale, I would recommend 5 50Ks with Topstep. And then if you want to scale more, I would recommend getting on the standard accounts with Alpha Futures. And that's the stack I am running right now, and that is the stack that allowed me to scale my trading. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I do want to do more of these videos, more sit down, more informational. So if you guys have any suggestions or anything you want to hear me talking about, anything psychology, anything related to this, like scaling, or just anything in general with trading, please let me know in the comments, and I will do any suggestion that you guys want, because I want to start making more and more and more of these sit down videos. So anything you guys want to see, let me know in the comments, and I will make a video on it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and like I said, if you are trading with Alpha Futures, you can use code Jack. It discounts every single account size. I'll leave the link in the description, and then obviously, if you guys want to see more videos like this, hit the subscribe button. Love you guys. Peace.